In this video, we'll be taking a look at 5 college football games happening on November 22nd, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 10 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 5 college football games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start, if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Pittsburgh versus Georgia Tech. The Panthers enter this matchup after a home setback by a score of 37-15 against Notre Dame. That result moved them to 7-3 overall, and they sit at 5-1 in league play. A win keeps them in position for a shot at the conference title. Georgia Tech arrives at 9-1 with a 6-1 mark in the league, and a win locks in their place in the title game. Pitt brings a defense that fits well against the ground focus of Georgia Tech. The Panthers allow 90.3 rushing yards per game, which places them 9th in the nation. That strength meets a Yellow Jackets attack built to run with Haynes King and Malachi Hosley. If Pitt reduces those gains on the ground, Tech faces more clear passing spots, and Pitt's secondary has shown it can produce stops. Pitt can move the ball with a spread approach through receivers like Kenny Johnson and Rodney Williams Jr., and that keeps the offense steady in tough settings. Georgia Tech has given up more than 409 yards per game and has only 2 takeaways, which limits its ability to set up short fields. That helps Pitt's quarterbacks, Mason Heinschel and Eli Holstein, guide the offense without forced errors. Pitt scores more than 37 points per game, and even without reaching that number, its balance and strong defensive front support a tight contest on the road. As our first pick for this matchup, the Pittsburgh Panthers to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Both defenses show uneven form yet hold traits that slow games. Pitt stands firm against the run with its 90.3 yards allowed per game, which meets the core of Georgia Tech's ground attack. Georgia Tech has had issues but tends to hold up in key spots while giving up 24.2 points per game. Pitt leans on the pass, and Georgia Tech uses Haynes King in a dual threat role, which leads to longer drives that do not always end with touchdowns. This mix of pace control and resistance near the goal line supports a lower scoring flow. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Nebraska versus Penn State. The Nebraska Cornhuskers and the Penn State Nittany Lions meet at Beaver Stadium for a cold night game built around defense, field position, and 2 developing quarterbacks. Nebraska brings a unit that holds up well against most passing attacks, giving up only 134.6 yards through the air per game. They have kept opponents below 20 points on average, which speaks to a steady approach built on tight coverage and sound tackling. That matches with a Penn State offense that has leaned on its run game. Katrin Allen and Nick Singleton have handled most of the work, and the passing attack has not pushed defenses vertically with any regular rhythm. Nebraska's offense rests on Emmett Johnson's running and a young quarterback who handled his debut with calm play. The extra time from the bye week helped him settle into the role. That stability supports a plan that asks for long drives built on simple concepts. With both starting quarterbacks unavailable, each team will rely on a young player who must avoid turnovers in harsh weather. Nebraska has shown more steady play this season, and the staff has used structure to help its offense stay on schedule. The coaching subplot adds some interest as Nebraska's coach faces his alma mater while his program looks to show steady progress. The betting trends point to issues for Penn State after big wins. They have covered only 3 of their last 16 spreads after a double-digit victory. At home, they have missed the spread in 7 straight games in that same spot. Nebraska's defensive makeup fits well against a team that has not produced many explosive gains. That gives the Cornhuskers a chance to slow the tempo and force Penn State to work through long fields. Nebraska also limits mistakes, protects the ball, and makes opponents earn every yard. As our first pick for this matchup, the Nebraska Cornhuskers to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Both defenses have shaped their seasons around discipline and tight coverage. Nebraska gives up 19.9 points per game and sits near the top of the national rankings in pass defense. Penn State allows 21.1 points per game with a secondary that has held up against most styles of offense. Neither team has produced many explosive plays. Nebraska keeps the ball on the ground with Emmett Johnson. Penn State relies on Katron Allen to push through traffic and keep the offense in short yardage. The weather will test both quarterbacks. Cold conditions at night reduce the margin for error, and staff on both sidelines know that risky throws can turn into turnovers. Nebraska's offense has scored an average of 19.8 points across its last 4 games. Both teams have defenses that squeeze lanes, limit long gains, and make offenses use many snaps to reach scoring range. The result is a matchup shaped by patience, field position, and a slow pace. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Tennessee versus Florida. The number 20 Volunteers, at 7-3 and 3-3 in league play, travel to the Swamp for a night game against the Gators, who sit at 3-7 and 2-5. Florida enters this meeting after 3 straight setbacks, yet they pushed Ole Miss and Georgia in those losses. Their defense has struggled on the road, but it has held firm at home. Tennessee has moved through the past 5 weeks with uneven play. They have given up at least 31 points in 4 of those games. Their offense can strike fast and create pressure, although it has also broken down without warning. Florida has shown steady effort at home. They have not dropped a home game by more than 4 points this season. They beat a top 10 Texas team on their field and stayed within 4 of a top 5 Georgia squad. Tennessee faltered against Oklahoma when they allowed 192 rushing yards that came from simple, direct runs. Florida can use this path since Jaden Baugh stands among the league's best backs. His work can ease the burden on Lagway and limit the need for risky throws. Both teams enter with mixed form, and each has left chances on the field. Florida, though, has tools that fit the setting at home and can lean on a rhythm that Tennessee has not stopped with regularity. As our first pick for this matchup, the Florida Gators to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Tennessee's defense raises the odds of steady scoring, but the shape of this matchup caps that risk. Florida has scored 24 points or fewer in 8 of its past 9 games. That trend has pushed the total to the under in 10 of Florida's past 14. Their defense has carried more of the load, and the home crowd has helped them limit opponents to 20 points per game in Gainesville. Their overall number sits at 26.2, which shows the gap between home and road performance. Florida's offense has not driven fast. They have stayed under 24 points in each of their past 5 games. They slow the pace, give the ball to the back, and shrink the field. Tennessee has had trouble against the run, which lets Florida extend drives and drain time. The home crowd remains strong even in a rough season, and that noise makes long possessions more valuable. Tennessee's task becomes harder when the environment turns tight and each snap carries more weight. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. California versus Stanford. The Cal Golden Bears and the Stanford Cardinal meet in Week 13 at Stanford Stadium on Saturday. California enters with a steadier profile this season, and both teams hold identical home and road marks of 3 to whatever tally applies. Stanford arrives after 3 straight losses, and their offense ranks near the bottom of the nation at 8th from last. Their defense also struggles and shows little sign of steady traction. California benefits from a bye week after securing bowl eligibility with a notable upset of Louisville, which gives them extra time to reset. Stanford, already removed from bowl contention, faces questions about focus even with a rivalry game at home. California shows firmer play on both sides of the ball, and the broader matchup details support that view as the analysis progresses. As our first pick for this matchup, the California Golden Bears to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Stanford scores an average of 17.5 points per game and sits at 129th in the national rankings. They give up 29.1 points per game, which puts them at 97th. Their offense produces 308.4 total yards per game, with most of that coming through the air at 231.5 yards, supported by 76.9 rushing yards. They allow 407.7 total yards per game, with opponents gaining 123.2 yards on the ground and 284.5 yards through the air. California scores 25 points per game and ranks 83rd in the country. They allow 25.2 points per game, which places them at 74th. Their offense moves 341.9 total yards per game, with 263.5 passing yards and 78.4 rushing yards. They give up 354.9 total yards per game, with 155.7 rushing yards and 199.2 passing yards allowed. These numbers shape a matchup matchup where each side shows defined strengths and weaknesses without hiding the gap between the two units. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. BYU versus Cincinnati. On Saturday, the BYU Cougars meet the Cincinnati Bearcats in a Week 13 matchup at Nippert Stadium. BYU steadied itself after a rough outing against Texas Tech and now faces its last major test of the regular season. The group wants another shot at the Red Raiders in the conference title game and intends to stay on course. BYU converted each of its 5 red zone chances last week and kept drives alive on 3rd and 4th down. Cincinnati's run defense faces a tough assignment against Martin, who gains 5.6 yards per carry. Cincinnati should move the ball, yet BYU has enough strength on defense to deliver key stops. The Cougars rank among the top units in pass coverage, especially when forcing tight throws. They guard the sticks well too and sit 13th in 3rd down defense. Cincinnati enters with a 2-game slide and has allowed 75 points across those losses. The Bearcats started conference play without defeat, but their offense cooled over the past 2 weeks. BYU stands at 6-1 in league play and has topped 33 points in 3 of its last 5 contests. The offense looks sharp with Bachmeier at quarterback, and the defense holds a clear statistical edge. The run game pushes near 200 yards per outing, and Bachmeier provides steady production. Their spot in the conference race reflects that level of play, while Cincinnati needs several breaks to climb back. BYU holds a 3-0 record against Cincinnati against the spread. As our first pick for this matchup, the BYU Cougars to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Cincinnati's defense gave up 75 points in its last 2 games, and the profile hints at more strain. BYU thrives on the ground and ranks among the best in runs of 10 yards or more. Their inside zone concepts match up well against a unit that posts a 38% success rate against that scheme. The home defense sits outside the top 100 in stuff rate and rarely pressures quarterbacks. BYU looks ready to score again after a strong outing against TCU. Cincinnati's offense, built on tempo at 24.5 seconds per snap, can still answer. The Bearcats average 4.9 points per trip once they cross the opponent's 40-yard line. Their run game gains 6 yards per carry and sits 21st in long runs. With Goody back and Pryor likely to return, Sorsby regains important targets. Both teams move the ball well. BYU averages 6.2 yards per play, and Cincinnati averages 7.2. Neither side gives up many sacks. Cincinnati has allowed 3, and BYU has allowed 10. That sets the stage for clean possessions and few losses behind the line. Both quarterbacks stand among the most productive in the sport. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed, subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.